Hello sa ating mga math-tiyagang taga-subaybay at nais math tuto dito sa ating channel, Sir Joel. Welcome po! This topic is a continuation of our topic regarding multiplication of fractions. So this time, instead of fraction multiplied by another fraction, we will involve a whole number and a fraction. So, if you are ready, then simulan na natin. Example number 1, 4 times 5 over 8. So, 4 times 5 over 8, magiging siyang 4 over 1 times 5 over 8. If you notice, yung 4 nagkaroon ng denominator na 1. Kasi nga, basically, if there is a given whole number, kung gusto mo siyang gawing fractional form, di magkakaroon ka lang ng denominator na 1. Bakit? Kasi nga, 4 over 1 or 4 divided by 1 is 4. So, if you look at our new problem, it is now 4 over 1 times 5 over 8. So, in this problem, ang A natin ay 4, B is 1, C is 5, and D is 8. Now, what are the given numbers nga ulit? 4, 1, 5, 8. Okay? Get the factors of these numbers, 4, 1, 5, and 8. Unahin natin ang 4. So, pwede siya sa 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. That's why the factors are 1, 4, and 2. Para naman sa 1, it is simply 1 times 1. So, factor niya, 1. And then, 5, we have 1 times 5. Factors are 1 and 5. And then, for 8, we have 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Factors are 1, 8, 2, and 4. Now, ano-ano nga ulit yung patterns natin? We have A over B, A over D, C over B, and C over D. So, balikan natin, ha? A over B muna. We have 4 over 1. So, if you look at the factors of 4 and 1, the only common factor is 1. Kaya, walang makakancel. Next, we have A over D. So, we have 4 over 8. Look at the factors of 4 and 8. Ano ang common factors ng 4 and 8? Meron tayong 1, 2, and 4. Dahil maraming factors, look for the greatest common factor. Ano nga ang greatest common factor ng 4 and 8? The answer is 4. Very good. So, ibig sabihin, that common factor 4 will serve as common divisor ng 4 and 8. Ayos? Now, what is 4 divided by 4? The answer is 1. 8 divided by 4, the answer is 2. So, instead of 4 over 8, naging na siyang 1 over 2. In this case, ang A ngayon ay 1 at ang D ay 2. So, take note of this, ha. Ang A ay 1, ang D ay 2. So, hindi na siya 4 and 8. Okay? Next pattern, C over B. So, when you say C over B, it is 5 over 1. Look at the factors of 5 and 1. The only common factor is 1. Kaya wala nang makakancel. Okay? Next, C over D is equal to what? 5 over 2. So, bakit naging 5 over 2? 5 over 8 ang original. Kasi nga, a while ago, ang ating new value ng D ay 2. Kita niya? Okay, so that's why C over D now is equal to 5 over 2. Okay? Now, ano ngayon ang magiging problema natin? So, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng panibagong tanong. So, i-rename na natin yung ating tanong. So, ano ngayon ang value of A? Value of A, 1. Kanina, 4. Ngayon, 1. Okay? Nakasunod, ha? Next, new value of B, 1 pa rin. Walang nabago. C, 5. 5 pa rin. And then D is 2. So, yan yung ating new values ng ating A, B, C, and D. Okay po? Now, multiply. But again, bago natin i-multiply, look at the given numbers. Ano ba yung given numbers this time? We have 1, 1, 5, 2 or 1, 5, and 2. So, nakuha na natin ang factors ng 1 and 5. Kunin naman natin ang factors ng 2. What are the factors of 2? Ay the true 1 times 2. That's why the factors are 1 and 2. Now, balikan natin. A over B, 1 over 1. Okay na siya. A over D is 1 over 2. The only common factor is 1. Okay. C over B, 5 over 1. The only common factor still is 1. Okay na rin. Then, 5 over 2. The only common factor is 1. So, ibig sabihin, wala na tayong pwedeng makancel pa. Kung yun ang nangyari, pwede na tayong mag-multiply ng numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. So, what is 1 times 5? The answer is 5. What is 1 times 2? The answer is 2. So, our answer is 5 over 2. Now, if you notice, 5 over 2 is an improper fraction. So, kung inyo matatandaan, if it is an improper fraction, dapat i-divide natin yung numerator by the given denominator. O i-rename natin itong improper fraction into a mixed number. In this case, how many 2 in 5? Or how many 2's in 5? Meron kang 2, then ilan yung sobra? 1, and copy the denominator 2. So, ibig sabihin, 5 over 2 is now equivalent to 2 and 1/2. And this 2 and 1/2 is our final answer. Aside from 5 over 2. Pwede naman ang 5 over 2 kung okay kay teacher. Pero mas mainam kung yung 5 over 2 ay na-convert into mixed number na kung saan ay 2 and 1/2. Ayos? Okay. Problem number 2. Example number 2. 7 over 8 times 16. So sabi natin, if there is a given whole number, the denominator is 1. Kaya ang tanong is now equal to 7 over 8 times 16 over 1. Again, A is 7, B is 8, C is 16, and D is 1. So, tingnan natin. What are the given numbers? We have 7, 8, 16, and 1. Yung 1, wala nang problema in getting the factors. Kasi 1 times 1 lang naman siya palagi. Kaya, kunin natin ang factors of 7, 8, and 16. So, to obtain the factors of 7, 8, and 16, sa 7, through 1 times 7. Factors are 1 and 7. Sa 8, 1 times 8, and then 2 times 4. Factors are 1, 8, 2, and 4. Okay? And then sa 16 naman, we have 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. So factors are 1, 16, 2, 8, and 4. So alam na natin ulit ang factors of the given numbers 7, 8, and 16. Then, ang pattern natin, A over B, A over D, C over B, and C over D. Unahin natin, A over B, 7 over 8. So if you look at the factors of 7 and 8, the only common factor is 1. So okay na siya. Hindi natin siya pwedeng makancel. Next, we have A over D is 7 over 1. Since the denominator here is 1, wala rin pwedeng makancel. Next, we have C over B. C over B is equal to 16 over 8. Look at the factors of 16 and 8. So, the common factors of 16 and 8 are what? 1, 2, 4, and 8. Tama? So, marami ulit. But, get the greatest common factor of the two. So, ano ngayon kaya yung greatest common factor ng 16 and 8? Yung pinakamalaki. Okay, tama. The answer is 8. At itong 8 will serve as our common divisor ng 16 and 8. So, what is 16 divided by 8? The answer is 2. What is 8 divided by 8? The answer is 1. So instead of 16 over 8, it is now equal to 2 over 1. Ibig sabihin, ang ating C ay magiging 2 at ang ating B ay magiging 1. Take note ha, na bago ang values ng C and B. Para mamaya, pag ulit natin sa pattern, ay di makikita natin. Madali na. Okay? Ayos? Ayos. Last pattern, C over D. So, what is C over D? It is 2 over 1. Oh, bakit nga naging 2? 16 ang original? Tama. Kasi nga, nakinig na mabuti ha. Kasi nga, sabi natin kanina, the new value of C is 2. And then, the new value of D is 1 pa rin naman. Wala palang nabago. So, C over D then is 2 over 1. Okay? Now, what is our new problem? Ano ba ang value ng A? 7 pa rin. Hindi pala nabago. Ano na ang value ng B? Instead of 8, naging na siyang 1. And then, value of C. Naging na siyang 2 instead of 16. And then, ano ang value ng D? 1 pa rin. So, ano-ano ngayon ang given numbers? 7, 1, 2, and 1. So, alin pa ang hindi natin nakukuhang factors? Yun, factors of 2. So, para natin bago siya may multiply, bago natin i-multiply, ay di get the factors of 2. So, paano nga ang factors of 2? Ay di through 1 times 2. So, the factors are 1 and 2. So, tingnan ulit natin yung patterns. A over B, 7 over 1, ayos. A over D, 7 over 1, wala na rin makakancel. Next, we have C over B, 2 over 1, wala na rin makakancel. And then C over D, 2 over 1, wala na rin makakancel. So, time for us to multiply the numerators over the product of the denominators. So, what is 7 times 2? The answer is 14. What is 1 times 1? The answer is 1. So, ang sagot ngayon ay 14 over 1. Kanina, if you look at the problem, 16. Tapos yung 16, naging 16 over 1. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang sagot ay 14 over 1, then 14 over 1 is simply 14. So, yun pala ang kasagutan sa ating problem number 2. 7 over 8 times 16 is equivalent to 14. That's it. Okay, so what are the steps in solving multiplication of fractions involving whole number? So, step number 1, rewrite whole number as a fraction. Paano nga ulit natin i-rewrite ang whole number as fraction? Lalagyan lang natin ito ng denominator na 1. And then number 2, apply cancellation method. So, wag natin kakalimutan, paano tayo mag-a-apply ng cancellation method? Only if there is a common factor ng numerator and denominator. At yun ay para mapadali, sabi natin, ang patterns A over B, A over D, C over B, and C over D. So, again, as much as possible, it is necessary na after na makancel, you need to repeat this pattern upang sa gayon ay masiguro ninyong ang inyong na-cancel ay tama lahat. Okay? And then lastly, multiply na. Alin nga ang i-multiply? Yung numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. So, again, tandaan lang ang mga steps na inyong nakikita sa screen upang sa gayon, hindi kayo maligaw kung paano mag-solve ng whole number times fraction or fraction times a whole number. Ayos? Okay, so andito na ulit tayo sa ating exercises numbers 1 to 5 kung saan inyo namang i-apply ang procedures ng whole number times fraction or fraction times a whole number. Kung nakinig tayo kaninang mabuti sa ating video o sa ating examples 1 and 2, kayang-kaya nating sagutan itong exercises na ito. And of course, alam kong perfect ulit ang magiging score ninyo at huwag niyong kakalimutan Kapag nasagutan na, pwedeng i-forward sa akin ang inyong mga kasagutan para nang sa gayon, ma-check ko ang inyong mga sagot. At nang malaman ninyo kung talagang kayo ay perfect at kung ano ang dapat pa ninyong i-improve dito sa exercises na ito. So, good luck! Alam kong perfect na ang inyong magiging score. Aasahan ko yan. Thank you! Muli po, thank you. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay. Palagi nyo lang tatandaan, maging matyaga upang matuto dito sa aking channel, Sir Joel. Salamat po!